Hello, those of you who are still here. Can you hear me now? Looks like we have, I see Carol and Beth. Are you all able to hear me? Ed, I'm sorry for the technical issues. If Okay, sorry about that. There's technical difficulties. That we can. Okay, so everyone, you guys can hear me now. Perfect. All right, we can proceed with the webinar here. I apologize. Never had that happen before. So, welcome to Let's Get Digital: How to Stop Losing Conversions and Grow Your Business. Okay, so let's start here with why we're here, why you're letting me take up time out of your day today. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're here because you want to grow your personal brand, learn how to share content that works better for you, and probably engage better, increase your engagement, and learn how to build an audience that you connect with effectively. So about me, my name is Melvin Glasgow. I am the founder of More Media Consulting Group. And I started that business because I've been in the mortgage business for about 20 years. I've done everything from originating to used to be a post closer when we actually had to go get files from storage. And I was an underwriter, transitioned over to the wholesale operations side as an account executive, and I worked for the marketing department for a real estate broker for some time as well. So in doing that, it led me to see a lot of people's businesses and help people get into a lot of homes. But it also led me to figure out that my real passion lied in digital marketing and media. About 6-7 years ago, I started a podcast, and I know everyone has one now, but back then, not everyone had a podcast. So I was able to start that podcast, but needed to know how to build an audience, how to connect with people, how to get the show heard, and go from there. So that led me to develop these skills and education that I can now put in place here. And that's why the companies were started, because too many of my clients had websites that did not work, that were not effective for really growing their business. So what I wanted to be able to do was give them the tools and skills that they needed to be able to grow their business effectively. So enough about me. You're asking, well, what's in it for you? Why are you here on this call? So here's the sweet spot. So by the end of this call, you'll be able to leverage your current online presence. You'll be able to leverage your current online presence. Oh my gosh, this technical difficulties. Usually I've got someone steering the ship for me. All right, so you'll be able to leverage your current online presence, post more consistently, and get started with Facebook ads. Goodness. So I always like to start off talking about what is digital marketing. There's a lot of misconceptions about digital marketing when it comes to cost and how to apply it to your everyday business. But what digital marketing is it's basically every component that helps how you are seen online, from your social media management and marketing to your web presence to your email marketing and follow-up, pay-per-click, that's Google Ads, SEO, search engine optimization, and all of that makes up what is your content strategy. And that's what we're going to spend time talking about today, your content strategy and how to use that to increase the conversions that you're already seeing and to be able to leverage those better. So there's some common misconceptions about digital marketing. You see some of them here. The ones that I hear most often are that they're for large companies and that it won't work for my business and that I don't know what to post. People aren't going to see it anyway. So all that stuff is just because a lot of us don't know when to post and how to post and where the trends are going. You can see here in this slide that from a cost perspective, the most effective way to reach a large number of people is social networking, because that's where people spend their time and that's where your dollar should be more spent. I believe that you should mix traditional print media and traditional media with online by having things direct people to your online presence where they already are. So if you're going to do palm cards are real popular now. If you're going to do mailers, if you're going to do door knocking, if you're a real estate agent, loan officer, however you meet people, make sure that you're providing them collateral that transitions them back to a place where they can find out more information about you, be it your blog, your website, or your Facebook page. So make sure you consider that for sure. Okay, so why it matters? It matters because you see everybody on their phones all the time. You know that the average person is spending over 2.5 hours on their smart device accessing a mobile app, some website, something like that of that nature. I always say that there's really only two types of people on the internet at one time, and usually that's people either spending money or making money, and you really have to figure out at which time you're on which one you are. And you might say, well, hey, sometimes I'm just searching, I'm not browsing, I'm not buying anything, but the way the internet is set up in sites like Facebook, they are set to track your information. So any search you see, any of that you kind of go through, you're being tracked. And we're going to talk about that with Facebook Pixels and how to use those tracking skills to your advantage to be able to really grow your business and have those higher conversions through targeting and being able to track the people that are viewing your great content. Okay, so some of the benefits of digital marketing, what we're talking about here, obviously it's brand awareness. It's being able to have social conversations and offer additional customer support, whereas you can only answer so many phone calls and visit so many people per day, but digital marketing allows you to extend your reach per se and automate a lot of the tasks that take you from being the high producing salesperson that you are. And the most important benefit is down at the bottom. It helps you build trust. And we live in a time frame where trust is eroding all over this country. I believe the United States has one of the worst track records right now with trust eroding in media and online. There's fake news, all these things. So it's imperative for us who are marketers and promote ourselves to really build trust. And a great way to do that is being authentic online, because our goal is to turn strangers into buyers, borrowers, and raving fans, right? So there's a simple way to do that. I'm sure everyone on the call has heard of sales funnels and whatever catchy title you want to use, but ultimately you want to be able to take that stranger and get them to the point where they are a raving fan because of the 5-star service that you provided them. And that's what digital marketing allows you to do, a great content strategy along with your own skill and acumen. Can everybody still hear me okay? It looks like we had some technical difficulties earlier. So it looks like we had some people drop off and come back. So welcome back to those who are back. We're just getting into I did the introduction of myself and some background, and now we're getting into digital marketing and what we're going to be able to apply here today. Okay, so moving on to the real sweet spot and meat and potatoes of why we're here and how to get these higher conversions and increase this engagement. You've got to understand who your potential customers are. It goes without saying, but it really is super important if you want to be able to maximize your time, energy, and dollars when you're online. And one of the best ways to do that is to consider who your target audience is and what they're doing when they're online and how we get that information to them. So the best ways to do that is through video and blog content, right? That's the best way to create enough collateral, if you will, digital collateral online to be able to share that on Facebook, to be able to share that on other social platforms. YouTube is a great platform because Google owns YouTube, and so they definitely give a lot more love to YouTube. If you do a search for yourself, I'm sure if you have a YouTube channel, it's probably going to come up, and you're going to be able to see, hey, this is where I rank and how that can help you establish yourself online. And it can seem daunting to start a vlog, but what I tell people is if you spent 1 hour a week on a Sunday and recorded yourself answering the 3 major questions that you received in the week prior to, it could be home buying, it could be interest rates, it could be any number of things that you address, and you broke down that one video, you could have at least 10 to 12 pieces of content to be able to share on every platform out there. So you could take a minute and a half and put that as a Facebook video, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But so don't feel like you are going to be unable to create a video or blog or what to talk about, because it's really quite simple, because you're asked so many questions throughout the day and throughout the week that, your content kind of just exists there for you, right? So speaking of content, it's what to create. We've got to create content that speaks for our customers, our potential buyers, and not to them. What do I mean by that? You want to be known as your buyers, as your borrowers' bumper sticker. When they see your business page, when they see you, that should be an extension of them. The content you post should be things that they would share on their wall. It should be things that are relevant to your target audience. If your target audience, let's say, is women, let's say 37, recently divorced women in a certain age range, your page needs to speak to that type of person. And the way to do that is put yourself in that mindset. I think too often when people produce content, it's a lot of look at me. And we want that. We want people to know that we're the experts, but we've got to consider, especially on your business page, that it's not about you at that point. That's what your personal page is for. And I'm completely okay with you posting on your personal page about what you do, but your business page has to be about your customer. And I hope that makes sense to everyone. If you have any questions or about that specifically, feel free to ask if you have any questions at any point on this. But yeah, so make sure you're speaking directly for them. That's a great way to do it. So then the next phase in the client exposure is, how do you communicate to the people? How often do you post? And kind of what's the hierarchy from what they see and when and how they see it? So the most important thing is you kind of need to be everywhere at all times. It's good from a citation standpoint because the internet loves words. Google search engines, if someone's searching for a real estate professional, mortgage professional in their area, and if you do nothing for SEO or search engine optimization, but you have a lot of content, that content is going to show. And if you're savvy with your keywords, and again, you're targeting when you're writing your articles and making sure that you're speaking to and for, not to your prospects, then that'll go a long way. So you can see here on this list, I've got, ideally in a perfect world, what you should be doing to get the most engagement from your audience. Now, there's one thing listed here is Google+. Google+ doesn't exist anymore, so I need to update this. But you should have a Google My Business page so you can be found. Even if I know there's a lot of loan officers, let's say, or even real estate agents who work for a broker and they don't have their own page, or they may just have a landing page. Well, it's important that you have your own space as well, and that Google My Business page. So I would set one up. And also to that, you want to make sure that everywhere your name and information is listed, your NAP, that's your name, address, and phone number, you want to make sure that's all the same in every place online. So when it says listing review sites down here, there's several, and I'll send a list over of, you want to make sure that everything is consistent across the board, because again, we're talking about identity and being able to have people find you so we can convert them easier. Now, we're going to talk about conversions more, but we have to talk about the type of content, and more so we have to talk about when to post the content and how to post the content. That's really some of the most common things I hear from people. And the best way to do that is to start with the content calendar. And how do you schedule the content for your content calendar? Well, these 6 steps here. You've got to plan to select the content to create, schedule it for each platform, schedule your follow-up, schedule your blog and vlog content. Like I said, though, it's a lot easier than it looks and sounds, and there's so many tools that are available. Even something as simple as rudimentary as just a simple Google Content Calendar, as you see here. So this image you see here is just a screenshot from Google, and sorry about that. I usually have someone assisting me. So you see a screenshot from Google Calendar here. And on the screenshot, all we've done is taken some of the best times to post, and really, and the best times to post is really quite subjective, because if you Google the best times to post on Facebook, you'll probably see some might say post on the weekend, some might say post at noon. I say it doesn't matter at all, because it's all about engagement, and the only way to know the best time to post on Facebook is to know when your audience is engaging with your content the most. So if you're just starting out, or if you're in a way that, you know, it can seem overwhelming and daunting, at the very least, if you post 1 post a day on your platforms, something engaging, that's a good start, and Facebook is a great start to that. If you simply focused on Facebook, but what the content calendar allows you to do, though, is focus on all the platforms and get it right. And there's some helpful tools out there. You can pay for services and things of that nature. I will mention that when it comes to third-party services and scheduling a post, there's a lot of disagreement, consternation of, should I use a third-party site like Hootsuite, for instance, or Buffer to post on my behalf? Do I get the same credit or same shine, for lack of a better term, on Facebook? And the answer is yes. Facebook themselves have said, hey, a post is a post. A native post to our site gets the same credit in the news feed. Now, I am not a huge fan of those sites because I don't like to outsource as best I can. I'd rather schedule it directly through the platform, and with a content calendar, this allows you to do that. Asana is a great tool. That's what we use and help with our clients. And then Trello is one recently that we added that can be helpful for you to use to track your content calendar. It's got the little grids on it, and it can be very helpful as well. All right, let me know, guys, if you have any questions. I don't hear any audio back from you all, so I think this is set up for just for me to talk, which is okay. But if there's anything I need to drill down on, if you have any questions, raise a hand, send a question my way, and I should be able to see it. Okay, so I've mentioned engagement and I've mentioned conversions, and that's probably why you're here, because that's what we need to talk about, right? When we talk about our social media presence, and we spend a lot of time on Facebook, but for each platform you're on, it's all about engagement. You can have a page that has 5,000 followers. You can have a page that has 500 followers. You can have a page that has 50 followers. But if people are not engaging with your content, it doesn't matter how many times you post a day, and it doesn't matter how many times that you, well, I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you post a day and how great your content is. I always say, if a tree falls in the forest, you know, I mean, I always say that, it's an old adage, but if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, you know, did you make an impact? So what I did here was pull up a little grid where you can just kind of see, and you can find all of this. I don't know how many of you all go into your insights on your page, but it's really important. It's really important. Let's see. Someone have a question here. I see a hand raised. Sorry, I see. Here we go. Yes, you will have access to the slides after the webinar. Definitely. Yeah, definitely we'll have access to all these slides after the webinar. We'll send those to your email directly. So on the engagement, your engagement level is what's key. People have all kinds of conversions without spending a lot of money on Facebook, and that's the goal, right? The goal is to be able to leverage your current online presence with just a little bit of paid social media to really get your audience drilled down and find your target. So when we look at this grid here, so you find this through pages to watch and your insights. And when you go into your page, you click on insights. Down at the bottom of the page, it shows you your page, your engagement for the week, and then it gives you an option to look at your competitors and your customers to see how well they're doing, the types of posts that they're posting, and how that looks. So I point this out because there's so much variance in the number of times you post, times of day, and how many people are going to look at that. That's how it doesn't matter if you have 5,000 followers. You know, there's a lot of pages that I look and I see, well, no one's liking this, or the only 7 people that like this all work in your office, or you have 16 shares, but if it's all your own staff sharing content back and forth, then you're not really engaging. And the whole goal is to have your page engage with like-minded people who like your page. So you can see here, like Steve Harvey, huge celebrity, over 9 million people like his page, and they post about 66 times a week. So that would be a little over 12 times a day, which is a great rate. They have a lot of people. Clearly, they have a lot of content, and you can see under engagement this week, that number means how many times people actually interacted with the page. And so I show you this to just show you the disparity kind of in numbers based on posts. So you look at Tony Robbins, a big figure. He's got half the audience size on Facebook of Steve Harvey. He posts a third of the time and gets about 25% of the results. I think I did the math there right. And then you see Tom Ferry. Now I got in a little bit of a, not an argument, but in the last lunch and learn I did in person where I had Tom Ferry here and I was showing that, hey, it's surprising that his engagement rate is so low considering, and I shouldn't say low, excuse me, his engagement rate was less than 1,000 of actual people actually engaging with his content, I should say, not his engagement rate, versus his over 180,000 followers. Now, that could be a few things, and I'm certainly not being critical of the great Tom Ferry. His focus is not Facebook content. His focus is not engagement. He's got YouTube and other channels and other ways to do that. But it's interesting. You can see how the more you post affects, and the level of content that you post can affect how many people engage with you. If you look down at the bottom here, the Dave Perry Real Estate, I don't know which office this is. It's just a kind of random office, but it just shows you the number of people, 3,000 total page likes, 374 actual engagements. So is that good or bad? I would say that's not the best when you consider they posted 73 times. So I would say, well, let's look at the content that you're posting. Are you asking the right information of your people? And more than anything, do you have the right audience? Because that's really what it's all about. And I think the best example of this is probably number 4 here, this Deco Exchange. Now you're probably wondering who is this guy and why I included him on here. But the reason why is this is a gentleman that makes wreaths. That's wreaths, WREATHS. And he teaches other people how to make wreaths online. And he's extremely successful. He knows how to engage. You can see that he had 100 posts pretty much for the week. And you can see that this regular person, he lives in Louisiana. He's not a celebrity, certainly not a Steve Harvey or Tony Robbins, Tom Ferry. He is a regular smart guy, quit his job, and makes hundreds of thousands of dollars with an online business because he knows how to engage. And so I That's why I show you this, spend so much time on this particular slide here, because that's where your bread and butter is. That's how you get the higher conversions. And that's what you want to focus on, getting the right type of content that your audience will respond to. Now, someone asked, well, how do I know what that content is? Well, a good way to see what that content is to go into your insights and look at your post and look at your engagement rate. Look at the number of people who've clicked on it. Take your top 3 posts for the week. Look at the timings of those posts. Look at the content and duplicate it. It seems simple enough, but it can be as easy as that. Is just duplicate those same efforts until you start to build more. And another thing about Facebook audience and engagement, be careful about who you invite to like your page. Not everyone, yes, there will be a recorded version of the presentation as well. So, sorry, I had to answer that question there. There would be a recorded version of this presentation. But when it comes to liking your page and who your friends and followers are, it's very important that you not just invite everyone on your friend list. You might have 5,000 friends, you might have 2,400, you might have 500. It doesn't matter how many personal friends you have, because you have to remember that your page is really all about your audience and who might buy from you or do business with you. That's what it's about. So when you send out invitations, make sure that these are buyers, not just other real estate agents, not just other mortgage brokers, not friends and family who live in California who chances are may never refer business to you down in Dallas or Texas or wherever your office is, all over the country. I'm in Dallas, I'm a little Dallas centric here, but you've got to be mindful of who your audience is and really get to know them. Facebook gives you the benefit of being able to build custom audiences. You can take past data, email addresses from loans you've closed, your email list that you're sending people to already. Take that list, you can upload that into Facebook, and Facebook will go find you like-minded people just like those, because Facebook has all of our data anyway. And I'm going to get into that here about how to leverage the data that Facebook already has, because as I mentioned earlier, those 2 types of people on the internet, people taking money, or people making money, and people spending money. And so the biggest way that you can do that on Facebook and really use Facebook as your landing page is through Facebook Pixel. Now, if you guys can help me out here, can you raise a hand if you have Facebook Pixel installed on your website or your landing page currently? Who uses Facebook Pixel or has it installed so they can get the information of folks who go to their website or their landing page? Just put the hand buttons up if, okay. All right, so Carol says she's not sure what to do with the Facebook Pixels. All right, so the Facebook Pixel is maybe one of the best things. I think it's the second best thing that Facebook offers and allows. What it allows you to do is track every movement of anyone who goes to your website or landing page. And when I say every movement, if it's your website and you're a real estate agent and you have multiple pages for searches. Okay, so sorry, reading the questions as they come in. So I'm explaining what Facebook Pixel is and why it's important. It's Facebook's ability to track where you are, what you're doing on a website. And so we take that data, or Facebook takes that data, and it shoots it to you in a way that you can retarget people who have made certain actions. I'm sure you have been online and you've gone to someone's website, and let's say you haven't completed a purchase, you left things abandoned in the cart, or you've clicked on an ad on Facebook and not completed the action, and then maybe in a couple of days you see a note that says, hey, are you still interested? Hey, well, the reason why they're able to do that is because they know every movement that you took on their website. or on their landing page. So it's imperative if you're going to market and you have a website, you've got to include that on your website. And it's easy to install. Anyone who manages your web page can do it for you. An agency can do it for you like we are, or I can show you how to do it. It's just a matter of copying and pasting some code and putting it on the website. Sorry about that. It's just a matter of putting the code on the website. And then you'll be able to do a retargeting ad to those people based on your movements. So that's another way we get the higher conversions, because we're able to see that this person has made this action. I can then retarget them and market to them directly. And that's where the optimizing the dollars you spend online comes into play, because you're not just buying $250 worth of mailers hoping that one person responds. If you're going to spend $250, and I always recommend that you spend at least $250 to $300 a month in advertising if you want to really grow your brand. $150 is minimum. That's works out to about $5 a day, or if there's $7 a day if we just count it on working days. But that's how you get impact, because when it comes to engagement on your page, Facebook rewards those who pay them, basically. If you look at Facebook as an ad marketplace, it's easier to have a better understanding of how to really monetize and maximize your Facebook time and presence. Facebook is a pay-to-play system, as I mentioned, that wants engagement. If you've got a Facebook page, but you're not advertising on Facebook, they are not going to reward you with putting your posts in news feeds. They're going to make you split that time with people who have paid and with people who are putting out content that their fans want to engage with. And I mentioned that engagement standpoint, we've got to be making sure that we put out content that encourages people to answer questions, to upload GIFs. The longer the content in your post, the better in the response. So when you want to ask a question to someone, hey, what is your preferred way to travel for spring break? Or tell me your craziest spring break story. You want to be able to do that so they give you feedback, and Facebook will keep those posts to the forefront. So when it comes to the post and when it comes to engagement, the next slide that I have up here, and I should say too that these components, the Facebook pixel and the ads, we've got some classes where we drill down a little further, and we're going to talk about ads a little more here. But this is kind of more well-rounded, but we'll drill down further on the kind of ad spend and getting things set up. But here's one of my favorite slides in the presentation. So you see at the top, it says stop boosting posts. And what I did was I just took this from Facebook themselves. Now, of course, they don't say to stop boosting posts, but what they do is they tell you can do way more with Facebook ads than you can with posts. So remember, Facebook is an ad marketplace, so they are encouraging you to create an advertisement. Don't boost a post, because if you boost a post, you don't have the ability to target and get that real data and hit the people that you want to hit. So this highlights some of the differences there. That slide's been up for a while. But for instance, if you are geographic farming, that's a very popular term among real estate agents, or you're door knocking and you're going to hit this neighborhood, what Facebook advertising allows you to do, and social media in general, but specifically Facebook, allows you to create very targeted ads for a specific zip code, for a specific city, specific ranges, and it also includes several interest levels that you can target people. I'm sure you have seen that if you've been in a Facebook Ads Manager, you've taken over these classes where there's several interests. Facebook knows our income. They know where you work, how long you've worked there, how many kids you have, if you like digital media, how much time you spend on your devices. So we have to use those things to our advantage as professional marketers and promoters of our business and services, right? So the way we do that is in the targeting, there are some major components that you can drill down on to be able to find the right people. For instance, there used to be an interest that said likely to move, which clearly, if Facebook thinks I'm likely to move, it's based on data that they've received from third-party sources. But we know that Facebook had their hands slapped for that, so they don't offer up as much data as they used to. But there are convenient ways to get around that, and we teach in one of our classes and offer specific, I call it a little targeting cocktail. There are about 21 interests that I like to drill down on, be it, their interest in real estate, brokers, their interest in mortgage calculators, lending. There's several that you can drill down on and really find the right people for your advertising dollars. And then you have the ability to remarket and retarget them based on their actions. If they clicked on your ad, if they clicked on your link for your landing page, whatever thing they did. And another thing about the Facebook Pixel, I'm sorry for going back and forth, but that reminds me, with the Facebook Pixel, that's for anybody that ever goes on your site. So for instance, that person never has to see your page, but if they go onto your site and that Pixel tracks it, they can see you're going to advertise to them, they're going to see your advertising, and it's just going to come up. So it just gives you, this is how you do the organic and the paid. So consider Pixel helping you increase your organic, and then Pixel helping you increase your organic, and then your targeting through the paid post is what's going to help you get high quality leads in. I hope that makes sense. I like these webinars where I can hear back from you guys, and this one is not set up that way, so I will have to talk to I will have to talk to them about that. So we'll talk about Facebook ad spend here. I've mentioned a lot of this already. Install Facebook Pixel. You want to, one thing you have to remember about engagement on Facebook and ads, it's not about likes. It's about leads, right? It's about people who really want to do business with you. A like for your page, if we talk about the 5,000 likes, that's a vanity like. Lots of likes on posts, if it's, if it's just, let's say the people in your office, or, your family members, or people who are not actually going to spend money with you, that's really more so for vanity. And what we want are people who actually want to do business with us. So this is how we do that with the best practices with the Facebook Pixel, by targeting the right people, by making sure that our engagement level is high, because it's okay to have a smaller friend list if they're all engaging with your business. So how do you get the content there? Do you want to drive people to a landing page? Do you want to just keep it all on Facebook? I believe in doing both, but my favorite method, and the method that I tell everyone I see advertising currently should be doing this, and I teach people and do this for them, is you should really get familiar with Facebook lead forms as a way to grow your business. And that should be your objective when you're running an ad, which is another reason why boosting a post doesn't work, because it doesn't give you the ability to target like these Facebook lead forms do. And what the Facebook lead form is, essentially, is a landing page within Facebook. So consider this: if you have a landing page and you want people to go there to schedule a showing, or to download a home buyer's guide, or get the value of their home, your lead magnets, whatever that digital asset is that you are giving out, a free consultation, whatever that piece is, landing pages are effective, but you've got to consider that if I have to click on a link to go to your landing page, you might lose me, right? Even if it's on my phone, there's load time, there's lag time. Most landing pages are cumbersome, even though they are only designed to contain just a little bit of information. So the goal is the goal is to keep people vested and to keep the sale and the conversation continuous. If I don't have to lose someone, why would I? So that's part of the title of this webinar today, is how to stop losing conversions. one way and the best way to stop losing conversions, I'm not saying scrap your landing page or your website, but you've got, in addition to having the pixel for the tracking, you need to have people filling out the Facebook lead form. And the reason why is all of their information is already there. So here you can see an example of a lead form. This is oh, it's my page, it's me. So this is one of our pages here. And I've showed this to show you what the lead form looks like within Facebook. You know, if you've ever advertised or you click on an advertisement, it's just like a post where you have a call to action button. If you post in your business page now, they give you the option, do you want to hit send message so people can interact with that page? Because again, Facebook likes engagement. You know, do you want video views? Do you want event responses? Whatever you are looking for, I think the most effective is the Facebook lead form, because this allows you to get the data that Facebook already has saved in it. You can see, look here at the bottom there with it has an email, name, phone number. It all auto-populates. You can set the questions, and it keeps everything and everyone right there on Facebook. So you don't have to worry about losing them when it comes to your landing page or it loading slow, or you can create, you can qualify, you can ask any questions, you can do everything in your Facebook lead form and keep it all right there. You can connect it directly to a CRM, you know, Zapier, all of their tools they have. There's Agent Legend, there's quite a few CRM, Salesforce, MailChimp. And then you can also just do it the old school way, download them to a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, and have all your leads there and be able to contact them and access them that way. And again, it helps you with the follow-up because you're able to know who did what on this day and for the tracking piece. So Facebook lead forms, if you leave with nothing else and you really want to advertise or you really want to maximize your current efforts, keep the landing page link in the body of your text, because that's good for tracking as well. But make sure you switch over to the Facebook lead forms, and that's just simply when you go into Facebook Ads Manager, you're going to choose the objective lead generation. So we're not going to have time to do it in this call. I'm going to extend this out a little past 2. If you have to go, that's fine. We're going to do a little Q&A. We only have a few slides to get through. I know we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, and I appreciate you guys hanging around and listening to me. So if you have any questions, I see some questions pop up. I'm going to answer those here in a second, and I'm just going to keep this thing going through the slides, and feel free to stick around and hang on as we get through this. Appreciate everybody's patience. And okay, so once we get the lead, okay, this goes to the higher conversion rate, right? Once we get the lead, what do we then do to make sure that we are converting that lead in a timely manner, that we're hitting them in the right way? So you hear about automation. There's a lot of systems. Everybody likes touches, and people are selling courses and they're selling software and tools that, you know, hey, in the first 9 days, you know, we'll touch them 7 times. Or we've come up with a plan. In the first 90 days, I believe there's 40 touches. And I think the best thing about ours is that it's automated, but it's more self-automated, and it gives you a little more access to create your content and to disseminate it out there. So I've included here, though, some of the platforms that are helpful: MailChimp, Agent Legend, ActiveCampaign for texting, for email, for your follow-up. Because once we have the information, you know, how do we qualify them? If we're going to spend less to get the lead here from the lead form, what are the next steps in place to be able to further qualify that lead or set the appointment? What I like to do and suggest is sending a text immediately, setting the appointment, and then moving forward with that. But, you know, some people want to call immediately or email. It just depends. But with the Facebook lead form, you know, and as soon as it comes in and you're able to set the triggers in your CRMs, which is way more helpful than, like I said, even the landing page. Because I was with a guy yesterday, a real estate agent. He was showing me he had 38 people go to his new landing page based off an ad he was running. but he didn't have any conversions. He had no information, but he knew he had 38 people because he could see the analytics. And I told him, I said, it's because you're not running the ad correctly. The copy was good. Clearly people were clicking, but you're asking them to do too much. And we want to ask people to do not as little as possible. We want to show that we want them to be vested, but we also want to consider their time and consider that this is just the beginning of the relationship. You know, there's a lot of debate about, hey, you can't sell a house online or you can't find buyers, but it's just like the radio, it's just like TV, just like print. It's just way more cost effective, and people are spending way more time there because that's where the people are, and that's how you're going to build true fans. So as we get to kind of close to our close here, I want to talk about true fans, and that's at the core of everything, right? I don't know if anyone on the call is familiar with Kevin Kelly and his 1,000 True Fan Theory, but he wrote, it was an essay he wrote maybe 10 years ago. And I mentioned at the top of this that part of me getting in, transitioning from mortgage and real estate to digital marketing for myself and for clients was I had a podcast some years ago and needed to grow an audience and needed to build it. And I came across that 1,000 True Fan Theory, and it changed my life because it gave me the perspective to see that I only need X number of people and I only need X number of profit to be able to achieve my goals financially. And if I focus on serving the 1,000 people, I'm going to be okay. So I'm butchering it, but if you're interested in a great read, and he's talked about it numerous places, it's called 1,000 True Fans. And really, simply, he's saying that if you can make $100 profit off of 1,000 people a year, that's $100,000, right? And those 1,000 true fans are people that will, anytime you do something, you show up. If you put out a post on social media, they will like it. If you sell a house, they will share that with their friends. They are your brand ambassador. They are the people here who will help you promote your business. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to build these 1,000 true fans through our marketing efforts and also through your 5-star customer service that you're going to give out to help build your authority there. So you'll see down at the bottom, we just have the arrows, customer-focused content. Email marketing is the second piece, and then social media. Email marketing is still the most effective way to convert. We get a lot of junk emails, kind of like our mailboxes at home, but email is still going to be the place where you have the most value. So that's why it's imperative that we have these lead forms set up so we can get people's email addresses, so we can set up drip campaigns. Everyone likes to say, whatever term you want to use, that's what we need so you can get people on that continuous basis in front of them, a weekly email, your daily social media post, you as the authority promoting your brand. Okay. All right. Let me before I get here, let me look at these questions here. So, Carol, you mentioned that I have you muted. I asked for some assistance and could not figure out how to get you guys unmuted. So I apologize for that. So if people can type their questions, if you have questions, I know that's not the best way to do it, but if you want to type out some questions, we can go ahead and start answering those. We're pretty much to the end here now, where I'm going to go over these best practices, tell you a little bit more information. So if there are any questions, again, I apologize for not being able to hear you guys, but type them out and I will be happy to answer them as soon as I see them pop up here. All right, so when we talk about best practices as we come to a close here, there's several things that you should be doing every day. Some things aren't listed here. The three most important things I would say are Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and Facebook Live. If you do nothing more than those three things, and I know that sounds like a lot, but those are what matter right now. Facebook clearly have made stories the priority. They're not monetizing those yet, but I'm sure it's coming. But if you look at your phone, you look at your desktop, however you access Facebook, same thing with Instagram. Stories are the most prominent place. They get the most engagement. Your news feed pales in comparison to the amount of engagement you will get from your Facebook stories. So make sure you do that. I've got a whole list of items and suggestions that I'll send out for you to figure out what to post in your stories. A lot of people, they don't want to just get in the car and talk for a little bit, but you can get in the car and talk and just ask a question. People love things that increase engagement. When we ask questions to our followers, it gets them on board and throws that engagement out there. So make sure that you start implementing Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and Facebook Live to your daily regimen. You also want to make sure that you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest. Snapchat is not listed here, but it should be. Snapchat is really important as well to be on. Obviously, it's more of a millennial-based platform, but who doesn't want to sell a home or close a loan for a millennial? And some of you on the call might be millennials yourself. I recently found out that I'm on the tail end of millennial. I thought I was in the next generation. So it's way broader than just the 20-year-old or the 25-year-old as it's commonly shown in the news. So you can see everything kind of here. You want to run offers and promotions and discounts, engage with your followers, optimize your site for search engine optimization. We didn't talk about that, but when it comes to search engine optimization, that is one of in addition to having really great free content, SEO work is another great free way to increase your brand awareness. Having the right keywords, having a blog that you manage, and you only have to do it once a week. I mentioned earlier when you film a video, you can take that video, you can upload it to YouTube. They automatically put the transcripts in it if you ask them to. They automatically do it. Sometimes it doesn't automatically do, but you can then trigger it for them to do the transcripts. You might have some things you have to correct, but then about 5 minutes, you can have a full transcript of everything you said in the video. You take that down and you contour that into a blog post. And that's how you get your blog post for the week. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Looking for 300 words, something to give you some exposure. So that's a good way to do that. But that helps with the search engine optimization. Like I said, the internet loves words. They want to be able to find you. So everything you can do to make yourself look better, you probably want to have someone take a look at that for you for your SEO. So you want to have someone managing your social listening campaign to engage with customers. You want a fast response time. Like I said, Facebook loves engagement. So if someone likes your post or if they comment on your post, you want to respond as quickly as you can. I know we're not always able to do that, so it's important that you have someone managing your social listening campaign. Same thing with the messages to your page. You probably heard about messenger bots. That's a really good tool. It's a really good engagement tool to be able to keep people engaged when you're not. It's similar to your email automation. You can have canned responses if you've got a promotion going, if you want a blog post to be read by people, you can trigger it through a messenger bot, and that's a whole nother class to talk about messenger bots. So we'll address that in another venue at some point. All right, I don't see questions coming in. Is everybody still with me? We're looking at Facebook or playing Fortnite on your phone. Hopefully not. I said I appreciate everybody's patience here. So, all right, last step of best practices. Focus on Instagram. Work on email, subscription funnels, and drip campaigns. That's what we talked about. Getting the people from the top to the bottom, attracting strangers to raving fans, follow them along the process. Your lead magnets, creating those higher conversions through our targeting, through our organic reach and post, and building that audience up. So if Let's see. If we have any more questions, I see some question marks here. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not missing anything here in the questions. Okay. All right. People still here. Thank you. Thank you, Beth. Thanks, Carol. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. So we are pretty much at the end. If no one has any questions, then we can kind of get to the end here. There's one thing I want to talk to you guys about. I know we've covered a lot here in this a little over an hour that we've had. It's a lot of information. Hopefully you learned something that can inspire you to get out and improve your marketing, or you can start crafting your marketing plan. If it's the content calendar, getting started there. If it's changing your lead generation or your Facebook objective to lead generation, if it's making sure that your page really focuses on the buyer or the borrower, whatever your prospect is, it's their bumper sticker. It would be on their car, that content. Hopefully you got those things out of here today. And if you are looking to learn more about how to do that, there's a couple of different options that we offer. Or if you're like some people and you just want to have it automated and not worry about it, there are a couple of different ways to do that for you. You can see here on this slide, we've got a plan called the Connected Agent plan. And what this is, Connected Agent, but it works for loan officers, everybody who wants to increase their engagement. It's a plan that basically does everything I talked about in this video, pretty much exclusive to Facebook, but it gives you marketing videos. So that's for your property listings if you're a real estate agent. If you are a mortgage lender and you want to partner with a real estate agent and be able to market for them, with them, you get 2 marketing videos or your listing videos. It can be your coming soon, your just listed, and your sold. I like to do it in three waves there. And then our website introduction video, which is pretty self-explanatory. It can be a talking head video, can be a mashup of clips or something to add value, some content to help you share and go viral. A lot of people are kind of confused sometimes about going viral and what that means, and people want to go viral. Viral simply is 10 times your normal reach. So if your normal video that you post gets 36 views, and you post a video and you get 360 views, then you went viral. You went viral for you, and that's what matters. And that's what we want to do. We want to encourage you to be able to go viral. And I know with these practices, you applying them yourselves or having someone help you, our agency, another agency help you, you can certainly get to the level that you want to. So this package, you can see what's guaranteed there. 100 clicks per month, 2 unique ads, 5,000 impressions, and that's in this one package. And then the package scales up. We add more packages all the way up to, I think, 1,200 is the top. But it's regularly priced at $497. Since you attended this webinar and you were so patient with me and the technical difficulties and me talking, we've got a special price that's a little over 60% off of $298 a month. For this basic agent package. You can add additional channels as needed. You can add email marketing, and those are for a small cost add-on. We also have something new, and it's our beta program where if you're more of a DIYer, if you will, and you already have a good marketing plan, or you just want to put your toes out there, we've got some online courses and some one-on-one training and some group calls in this beta program where there's a module released every week and a group call at the end of the week to go over the module. Literally every component of what we covered today, soup to nuts. You'll know how to post ads. You'll get the ad copy that we use. You will get one thing I didn't show you is how we convert and some of the numbers. I'll send over some case studies. Some of you might have received that. But on average, folks who work with us, either by having us do it for them or work with us, they have gotten their lead cost per lead anywhere from $2 to $20 per lead. and that's important when you consider for a real estate agent in the Dallas area, the average cost per lead is about $55. I know it varies from zip code, so it might be, 20s to 200 and some odd, but the average cost is $55. I know for loan officers, it can vary as well. But if you can control those costs and not have to depend on a third party, I think that's super important. And that's what we want to be able to show you there. It looks like we have a question. Yes. Okay. So Markeisha asked me to go over the beta program. So the beta program, I was touching on that there. The beta program is going to include 4 weeks of instruction. It's designed to happen over 30 days to be able to give you everything you need to know for your marketing. It's limited right now to 20 people per program. I think we're almost at capacity for this one, but we're going to have one following thereafter. And in that, so you're going to receive a module that's going to have resources, handouts, checklist. It's going to be video training online, and then, like I said, the group call. And then with that, you'll be able to help shape the program as well. That's why it is a beta program, because it's still somewhat in development. And through this, though, we'll be able to really contour and make this the best digital marketing courses, some of the best digital marketing courses out there. So I can answer some more specific questions and drill down, but over a 4-week course, that's what you're going to be experiencing. You get the information before anyone else, and you get access to myself and our other trainers and in a group setting. And then if you need more, then we can certainly do that for you. But that's going to last over 30 days, and then that will enroll you in our additional programs. So you'll get access to additional training. And then there's also a social media marketing course that's already up and running, and it's priced at $49 right now, and we put that in there as well. So you get digital marketing and you get the social media course. So it's basically 5 courses plus the group calls. Okay, so if you have any other questions on that, Markeisha, you can let me know either through this or we can go offline. Anybody else have any other questions here? If you're interested, I can send you over the link and you can go ahead and sign up for the beta program or take advantage of the Connected Agent program. You can hear about more of what we have to offer. I know your time is very valuable. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, there's my number directly. We're going through a rebranding phase, so we can use that email address right now as we work on our rebranding. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to let me know. I appreciate your time. I hope you got something out of this. There'll be a follow-up survey, so if you would not mind answering that, and if you need anything, I'll be in touch. So thank you very much, you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.